Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. Let me take this one out. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm so happy to be back after 2 week absence of doing this show. I am probably gonna make this short, but I had to do this show today. Got a lot of things on the schedule. Um, and a lot of bills to pay. Hold on just a moment. I forgot one. Sorry about this, guys. I thought I put every announcement in there. So, first off, please subscribe. We are up to 379 subscribers. One away from 380. So, the goal is 1,000. So, hit that subscribe button. Subscribing is literally free. Literally free. Support me on Patreon. Patreon is going to be very important for me because that is how I'm going to fund this channel. In terms of the content that I put out, in terms of getting new lights, I got a new light which I couldn't afford, but I went ahead and bought one because I just had lights just going out, so that's why it's a lot brighter. But don't know how long I can continue to do that. So please consider supporting me on Patreon. Support starts at $2 a month. That's 50 cents in a 4 week. Or if every month has 4 weeks, that's 50 cents a week, 7 cents a day. So I definitely appreciate that support. Join my mailing list. I still don't have anybody on my mailing list. I'm looking forward to doing another newsletter next month, September the 15th. You'll get something on the 15th of every month. It's free. You can unsubscribe at any time. I will not sell your information. It's just to keep note of what I am up to. Help us to get 75 likes and 45 shares. And with that, we are ready to jump right into our topic. Forgotten cartoons of the 80s. I will probably mix some 90s in there. Um, I again, YouTube does not like me at all, so I can't show clips, but I can show pictures. So we're gonna do a whole lot of screen sharing today. And some of these cartoons, they came out um, like before the 80s, but I saw them syndicated. Um, and so that's when I saw them. So the first one I want to talk about is Chilly Willy. Chilly Willy the Pinkawin. If you listen to the song, you'll know why I'm saying it like that. I think, wait a minute. Before I show you guys this picture, I gotta find out, did Chilly the Willy eat pancakes? Because I seem to remember that um Chilly Willy ate pancakes. Yes, I was right. Chilly the Willy did eat pancakes, the best pancakes in the whole world. Chilly the Willy tries to steal pancakes he's depicted as competing for tasty pancakes with his nephew. Yes, so I was right. Chilly the Willy did eat pancakes. Um, I don't know who Chilly the Penguin's nemesis was. But I'll show you a picture here. Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of screen sharing today. Um, well, StreamYard has changed since I was last on here. It's been a while. Um, So that's Chili the Penguin. Chili Willy the Penguin. And they at the song I think was I am Chili the Penguin. I'm Chili Willy Willy all the time or something like that. So that was like I said, it wasn't made in the 80s, but I watched it in the 80s. Another cartoon that I don't think a lot of people remember. Um, I'm gonna put up, let's see. Because I think these two look a lot alike. I just want everybody to notice this because I noticed something. Um, yeah, I got it. So take that. I don't want. Okay. And be sure to put your comments in about forgotten cartoons if I miss one. Um, like I said, I'm really trying to get used to this new stream. Or share screen. Okay. So that's Casper the Friendly Ghost. That's Richie Rich. Now, I don't have to tell you, do you see the resemblance? Do you see the same cheeks, the same eyes, the same hands? Well, they don't have either, don't have knees, even the same eyebrow, the same head shape. Everything about these two are the same. Of course, Casper the Friendly Ghost was a friendly ghost. And he would like people would be scared of him, but he was friendly. I watched very few episodes. I was more with Richie Rich. Now, Richie Rich, um, I just wanted to point out that they looked alike because I'm like, they really did look alike. This is the Richie Rich, not the Macaulay Culkin movie, not the movie. I'm talking about the cartoon. Um, yeah, I'm talking about the cartoon with the dog with the dollar signs on him, and he was friends with like a bunch of poor kids and would take them to like he had a park and a robot maid and a butler and I don't think you ever saw his parents though. Um I'm trying to find a good picture here. And there's not really a good one. But you know, and he sometimes he wear that sweater with the big R on it. Um And this actually, let's see. So, Richie Rich is an American Saturday morning cartoon that was produced about by Guess Who, Hanna-Barbera Productions, and was broadcast on ABC from November 8th, 1980 to September the 1st, 1984. This lasted 4 years and is based off the Harvey Comics character with the same name. The series shared time slots with the Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo, the Little Rascals, Pac Man, and Monchi Cheese over the original 4 year broadcast run. It was 13 and a half hours were produced, split into segments of 12, 7, and 4 minutes. Blah, blah, blah. So you had Richie Rich Riches. Oh, those are his episodes. Trying to get the character here. Wait a minute, guys. I gotta move this stupid light. Ugh. It's gonna fall. Sorry, guys. This tripod light is really trying to fall. And I'm trying not to. Okay, hold on a second, guys. This light. Okay, there we go. So I'm trying to get the characters here. So because there was like I said, there was Richie Rich, there was Gloria, the girlfriend. Well, she wasn't the girlfriend, but she was the best friend. Um, the dog. What was the dog's name? Um, so there was Irona. Okay, I'm an adult. Stop. I hate when you go to these sites and make okay. So there was Irona, the robot, Gloria Gad, the one that would be with Richie on the little adventures. Then there was the bad guy, Reggie Van Doe, and spelled like dough as in bread dough. And then there was Beckless Friendly, um, Maida Mooney, Munny, Deborah Grant, um, Richie Rich Sr., that you never saw his mother, and Dollar the dog. So you saw those characters. So um, one thing I remember about, well, obviously he was rich. That's rich. Richie Rich. Dun dun dun. That was the whole song. And of course, it wasn't realistic, but I mean, I had a good time watching it. I just don't think a lot of people remember it. Another cartoon that I remember, and this one I got to, I don't think I didn't share a picture of Richie Rich. Sorry, my hair is terrible today. Um, so there were these cartoon characters. I think it came on NBC, and they were like animals, and they lived in this park. And I don't know. I can't remember if they solved mysteries or not, but I remember they wore these T-shirts, and like their feelings would be on their T-shirt. I think they're called the Shirt Tails. Um, and they had like this one. Um, I can't remember. Um, they had like ugh, they had this one character that was supposed to be like Humphrey Bogart, but it was a chipmunk. No, it wasn't a chipmunk. Uh, it was in the primate family. Um, oh, I can't think of what that character was, but so the Short Tales was an animated television series that aired on NBC, so I had that right, from 1982 to 1984. So this was based off of characters created by Janet Elizabeth Manco for Hallmark Cards. The series featured a group of animal characters who lived in a treehouse. Okay, so I do remember this show. So the series featured a group of animal characters who lived in a treehouse in a city park and secretly worked as super sleuths. So they did solve mysteries, fighting injustice, and helping those in need. The main characters were Tig Tiger, orange, Pammy Panda was pink, Digger Mole was light blue, Rick Raccoon was red, Bogey or orangutan, no color, and Kip Kangaroo were there. But what was that one? Okay. Um, they had the okay, so wow, they went straight into AI mode. Soon as I typed that. So I'm trying to think what was the theme song. I can't play it. Like I see it, but I can't play it because again, YouTube hates me. So that was one I remember. Another, and I don't think I showed you all the shirt tails. Let me show you the shirt tails. Let me show you what they look like. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to show you guys that picture. Um, and again, I failed, guys. Oh, can't stand this. Okay. Okay. Try this again. Okay. These were the shirt tails. Shirt tails. That's all I remember. There's the one that was supposed to be like Humphrey Bogart. I don't remember the other. Well, I just told you the names of some of the other ones, but that's the one that stood out to me. Um, excuse me. So another cartoon I remember. Now this one you got to know this one. If you're a true kid of the '80s, a true child of the '80s, you will absolutely know this show. I won't even show a picture because your your memory will come right. The memory of this cartoon will come right back to you. Um, oh goodness, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Um, Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons was just um it was a show, well, it's a cartoon, obviously, and it focused on six friends who were transferred and transported into the realm of something something. So the show ran from on CBS from 1983 to 1985 for 3 seasons for a total of 27 episodes. Dungeons and Dragons focus on a group of six friends who were transported into a realm of Dungeons and Dragons following their adventures as they try to find a way home and help guide the dungeon master while combating an evil spirit. Thing about this show is they never found a way home. They just never found a way home. They just it's just like it just left off. It's like, okay, did they get home? They gonna just be stuck there. They were just there. I don't know what happened. I think the show was canceled, but they never got like an ending. Like we never knew what happened. That show was so good. I really liked that show. So like I said, I didn't even bother showing a picture because like you gotta remember Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because it was so good. Um Next cartoon. This one, I'm trying to remember what was it called. And you would think I would have a list, right? Like a list of everything. But I got so much stuff in front of me that it's like, and I have this little bitty desk, so I can't like put the list like next to me. Hopefully, what'll happen is someday I'll have a big table in my other room and I'll just be able to put things aside. I cannot do that right now because I'm running out of space. Um, but I'm trying to think of the name of this cartoon. I almost want to call it Turbo Team. And boy, was I right. Turbo Team. Yes. Okay, y'all. Now, I'm going to describe this. And this was an actual show. It ran for 13 episodes in 1984 on ABC. The series was called Turbo Team. It was about a teenager with the ability to transform into a car. I kid you not. He could transform into a car. Brett Matthews, who serves as an off-road, swerves into a off-road thunderstorm and crashes into a secret government laboratory. There, he and his red sports car are accidentally exposed to molecular beam invented by a mad scientist named Dr. Chase for a government agent named Caldwell. As a result, Brett and his car become fused together. Brett gains the ability to morph into a car when exposed to extreme heat and then reverts back to his human form when it's cold. So in the summertime, bruh man is still just a car. Winter, he stays a person. I, yeah, this was a real show, yeah. This was a real show. This was actually a show. Somebody said, hey, let's make a boy morph into a car. I know it's a cartoon, so you got to, suspend your reality, right? But this, I don't know which is worse, this or Manimal, in terms of the idea. Your car, you in your car morph, and you can only morph when it's extremely hot. Are we talking 100 degrees, 98 degrees, 120? What temperature did he morph into a car? Did anybody know he was like a boy car? Did anybody drive the car, or did he drive himself? Like, who is out here? Like, he morphs into a car, right? Somebody gets in, and the temperature automatically starts cooling. Is that person stuck in the car? I just don't understand. I did not understand this at all. I mean, yeah, this was one of those forgotten cartoons of the 80s because I just could not wrap my head around um, who would have sat here and thought, I'm moving to the next one because I'm still just tripping off of. I'm trying to think. Nope. Uh, there it is, Captain N and the Game Master from 1989. Now this kind of seeped into the 90s. This was like the late 80s. So this was like 1989 to 1991. The cartoon featured characters from various Nintendo games, including for a if I could read. This cartoon featured characters from various Nintendo games, including those from arcade originals like Kid Icarus and Mega Man. But there was one teenage guy who will be like, "Excuse me." He would say that every episode. Um, I don't remember Dragon's Lair. I don't remember Pole Position. I do remember the wacky races though. Pac-Man. Now Pac-Man, yeah, I gotta show y'all Pac-Man because this was just like the stupidest. Who sat there and thought, you know what? Let's take this game where people, where a guy that's shaped like a big circle eats goblets for power. I mean, it, it, and then there was Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, and then Baby Pac-Man. You really needed a baby? Like, and then they would eat like, I don't know if you want to call them the ghost or the bad guys or the goblins or whatever they were called. And they would disappear, but then be back like the next episode. Oh my goodness. I mean, Hanna-Barbera, who produced most of the cartoons, they had some real stink bombs. I mean, come on. Pac-Man? Pac-Man. Now, it was one I really loved was the Super Mario Brothers. Now that was like swing your hips from side to side. Come on, the sound, do the Mario. So it was like live action and a cartoon. Um, And Luigi, was that the chunkier one? Luigi was like the plus size one, or was that Mario? Because it was like Mario and Luigi. I think Luigi brought to life, and then they would morph into a cartoon. That's one a lot of people don't remember, but was, it was decent. Um, then there was the Littles. No, no, everybody remembers the Littles. Everybody remembers Heathcliff. Alf had a cartoon. Um, I want to say it was 85. Let me see. When did Alf the cartoon come on? Okay. Oh, I can't stand that. Okay. This light keeps falling, y'all. I don't know what to do with it. I keep putting it out here. So, Alf, the alien life form, that's what it stands for. Um, The Alf animated series, also known as Alf on Melmac, is an American animated television series that aired on NBC for 26 episodes from September 1987 to January 1989. So this lasted 2 years. So Alf the animated series was a prequel. That's right. So this took place before. So this took place on Melmac, not Earth, right? Um, and so it was a prequel. And again, um, the person that did Alf's voice, Paul Fusco, well, he didn't do the voice. He was one of the puppeteers. Um, and then the Alf Tales was a spinoff from that. So you had Alf on Melmac and then the Alf Tales, and that ran from 88 to 89. And so they're just making it one show. Um, on the show, on the cartoon, okay, let me see if I get it right. So Alf was the name that was given to him once he got to Earth, alien life form. I can't remember the family gave it. But the cartoon, because this is a prequel, he was known as Gordon Shumway. Um, and then they would do live shots of Alf in the cartoon, if that's making sense. Remember, like when Mr. T had his cartoon, you have like cartoon Mr. T, but then there'd be a segment where like real Mr. T would be on camera. That's the way they did it. In this cartoon, like real Alf would be there in a tape. Then they show the cartoon. Then they show real Alf. I hope that makes sense. Um, he was a teenager, and he had family. So there was Gordon, that's Alf, Bob Shumway, Gordon's father, Flo Shumway, Gordon's mother, Curtis Shumway, Gordon's younger brother, and Augie Shumway, Gordon's younger sister, Neep, the dog-like alien creature called a Vespa, Harry, the Shumway's family pet, a bird-like alien creature called a Westphalman Schmuck. Uh, yeah, this one I don't. Let's see, and then they have, of course, the episode. So that was one. Um, I remember. Then there was. Oh, guys, my memory is getting me. I know there was one. Um, you got to remember. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, if you can't, I don't know if that was the 80s or not. Let me see. Hold on a second. I don't think that was 80s. Okay, hold on a second. Because this one I definitely remember, but I don't know if it was. Okay, okay. Got it. So this cartoon, oh boy, you got to get to the right one because there's been a whole bunch of uh, Spider-Man cartoons. There was the Spider-Man cartoons in the 90s where he turned into the Black Spider-Man, but I'm talking about the awesome Spider-Man and his amazing friends. This cartoon was awesome. Um, just to let you know. So this series, wait a minute. Um, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to get an accurate. Okay, so let me try this again. This light keeps coming up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get this light to stay where it is and it keeps falling. So, Spider Man and his amazing friends ran from 1981 to 1993. And it was with, of course, Spider Man, uh, Firestar or Firestorm. I think it was Firestorm. Wait a minute. Was it Firestorm or Firestar? Hold on a second. I'm pretty sure it was Firestorm or Firestar. Firestorm? Nope, Firestar. There it is. Okay. So Firestar um, is a superhero um, who can, of course, turn into fire. And then there was Iceman. So they had, and the thing is, those two never got into an argument because I was always wondering, hey, if Firestar and Iceman got into an argument, like who would win? Because really they neutralize each other. Firestar could like literally just melt Iceman, right? Because he would do that thing where he would like go from his feet all the way up and he would turn into ice, an Iceman. But Iceman could also turn Firestar into ice and like it's like their powers canceled each other. And I was wondering like if they got into an argument, like who would win? Because that would be, I wonder did they ever um did they ever um I don't think they ever examined that because that would have been like, who would have put in the comment section if you're watching or later on, um, who would win a battle between Firestar and Iceman? I don't even know who to pick, right? Because again, their powers really cancel out the other one. And I'm like, well, you got, and then you got but it was still an amazing cartoon. Other thing, okay, so Spider Man, yep, because I'm gonna stay on this a little bit. So where was his costume at? Did he? Because like with Superman, we just assumed his costume was under his clothes. How he kept that cape and all that hot stuff, I don't know. Where was Spider Man's costume at? Did he like go into a closet and change? Did he like have it underneath his clothes? If he did, was it like the TV show where he couldn't see through, you know? Um, I just was like, where's the costume? Like he would go into this room, I think, and he would turn around and be Spider-Man, right? It would kind of like Batman and Robin show, right? In the 60s. They would go down this pole, then he would come up, he'd be like Bruce Wayne, go down the pole, come out Batman. And then he would go back through the same way and turn from Batman to Bruce Wayne, right? Okay. But Spider Man, he would go into this revolving closet, go in as Peter Parker, come out as Spider-Man. But you never saw him go into the closet as Spider-Man, revolve the door, and come back out as Peter Parker. So my question is, what happened to the costume? Where is the costume at? I don't understand. I like what? Why isn't that was never explained? Never explained. Okay, so I gotta talk about this one is old school. This one, I watched it in the 80s. Again, it didn't come on in the 80s. Johnny Quest. So Johnny Quest was a different type of cartoon. It, like I said, it came on in the 60s, but I saw it in the 80s. And the animation was totally different. From there, like I said, it was did in the 60s, but it was about, of course, Johnny Quest, the little boy, but his father, I think, worked with the government. I'm trying to get a Johnny Quest was 11, who lost his mother at an early age, although but he lives in intelligence. Dr. Bittenquest is his father. Roger raised Matthew. Okay. So there was a slightly problematic character with Johnny Quest, and that was Hajin Singh. And I don't know. Cartoon. This would not work in the politically correct era that we lived in. He wore a turban. They were I don't even want to say stereotyping, but Haji was of Indian descent, and he sometimes would wear a turban, and the turban would have like special things that he could do with it. He was also, he could levitate, he could hypnotize, he could he was Johnny Quest's best friend. But if you see it, he had like this overly stereotypical Indian accent. I don't, and I'm like, ooh, that would so not work today. There's no way that would work. There's no way that people would just let that slide. It was terrible. I'm not even gonna mock it because it would just be so disrespectful. I'm like, ooh, nobody said anything. Like they were just like all okay with it. Yeah, it was problematic. But I forget what show. I forget when it came on. It came on in the 60s, just like the next show I'm gonna talk about, Space Ghost. Okay, now Space Ghost was everything. Everything. This show, again, it came on in the 60s, but it was syndicated in the 80s. So guess what? I was watching it in the 80s. So Space Ghost is a superhero that was created by, again, Hanna-Barbera. He had the teen sidekicks, Jan and Jace, and Bleep the monkey that fought super villains. Now they would fight like these android like meteor things. He was from the Ghost Planet. He had the ability to become invisible. He had power bands that generated beam-based attacks of heat, cold, and magnetism, energy enforcing, and a force among others. Space Ghost sidekicks were and their pet monkey Oh, da 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 da. Um, I'm trying to think of the not the new Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I'm talking about the original. What were the um uh what were the villains? What were those meteor things that they fought? Right? There were like these they were like these I'm trying to think what I am trying to think about what their names are. But they were like these android type of things and oh wait a minute. Hold on. I'm on just okay. No, not Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Space Coast villains. I know. I can't. I'm gonna think of this. I'm. Uh, nope. I may be thinking of another cartoon. Um. Uh. Let's move on to Wacky Races. So Wacky Races. There were okay. So there were like a bunch of iterations of this cartoon. There was the Wacky Races 1968 version, but I'm talking about the one with Scooby Doo, Dino Mud, and then there was a whole nother one with like the Flintstone. Like Hanna Barbera did not have any type of original ideas. Um, they just like they had one Wacky Races show, like I said, with the Flintstones. Then they had a whole nother one with like Dino Mud and well, or was that all the same show? Maybe it was the Wacky Races. Okay. Okay, never mind. So it was. So the Wacky Races was this show, and it was kind of awesome. Um, where they would get like cartoon stars from other shows, right? Um, and they would race. It was an American animated comedy television show, again produced by the Ever So Original Hanna-Barbera Productions in association with blah blah blah. It aired from 1968 to September 14th, 1968 to January 4th, which is my birthday, January 4th, 1969, and then reruns the next season. Okay, so the series featured 11 different cars, and each of these cars were driven, of course, by people, well, not people, by cartoon characters. Um, there were the Gruesome Twosome, the Slag Brothers, Rock and Gag Gravel, um, the Red Max, Penelope Pitstop, Sergeant Blast, the Ant Hill Mob, Lazy Luke, Perfect Peter, Rufus Roughcut, Dick Dastardly. But the favorite part of this cartoon was that dog. Oh, that dog, Muttley, or whatever that dog's name was, would do this, lad, he would do this. That was the best part. That was the best part, was the laughing dog. But I'm trying to think of the one with Scooby Doo. Um, Let me see, because I know there was one with Scooby Doo, Dino Mutt, Flintstones, Race. And it keeps going back to the wacky races. So I guess like they spun off and did like different races, because I always thought that that was strange. And so they would have, like, what I remember was they would have like Yogi Bear, um, and like they'd be on teams, right? They'd be like Team Scooby Doo, Team Dino Mud, Team Fred Flintstone, and they would all race. And then there was always the cheaters. Um, and nope, I don't want to. Uh, I'm trying to think of when the. Oh boy, this is really making me sick. But there were spin-offs, but I didn't watch any of the spin-offs, and I'm still trying to remember the wacky racist teams. That's what like I said, the dog was the best part. The dog was definitely the best part to the show. But I remember, or maybe I'm misremembering, but I remember like Team Dynamite, Team Scooby Doo, Team the Flintstones, and they would get like different ones. And then that laughing dog, the one that goes, that dog they would try to cheat, and they would never win. Hold on a second. This is just driving me crazy. Yeah, I know um that I'm not misremembering this. Maybe I am. Okay. Dino Mutt. Maybe I remember the Dino Mutt Scooby Doo hour. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. So I got a false memory sitting there. So next cartoon that we're gonna move to, and probably the last one. So this one, just sit back, folks, because this is gonna be long. The Scooby Doo movies. Now, the Scooby Doo movies, I got to caution you. Critics hate it, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like Scooby Doo, Where Are You? Um, but the Scooby Doo movies. Okay, nope, not that one. Hold on. I want to get the exact title right. Because of course, we know the great Scooby Doo, Where Are You? But da da da. Okay. Okay. Da 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 da. Oh, okay. So it's called The New Scooby Doo Movies. So the New Scooby Doo Movies is an animated mystery comedy television series, again produced by Hanna-Barbera. Boy, they just could not think of anything original. It aired from September 9th, 1972, and ended on October the 27th, 1970. Oh, I mean, it premiered on September the 9th, 1972, and ended on October the 27th, 1973, running from 2 seasons on CBS as an hour-long Scooby-Doo series. 24 episodes of this were produced, 16 for the 1972-1973 seasons, and 8 more for the 1973-1974 series, even though it ended in 73. Okay, so each episode would feature a celebrity or a well-known animated character joining the Mystery Inc. So you had celebrities like Randy Runkin. So you had Sandy Duncan, Batman and Robin, the Harlem Globetrotters, the Three Stooges, Cass Elliot, Sonny and Cher, Dick Van Dyke, Phyllis Diller, Tim Conway. And like most of the time they would like the real person would provide the voice. Yep, that the first episode were the Curly, Batman and Robin, the Addams Family, Jonathan Winters, Don Knotts, Phyllis Diller, Sandy Duncan, Sonny and Cher, Laurel and Hardy, although I thought they were past by that time, but we gonna just leave that alone. The Harlem Globetrotters, David Jones, Jerry Reed, again, Batman and Robin, the Harlem Globetrotters, which, you know what? I always thought there was an episode. This will tell you how your memory will mess with your mind if you're not careful. I thought there was one episode where Batman and Robin and the Harlem Globetrotters appeared in one episode. That is not the case. They were back to back. And so I would say, oh, well, there's that one episode. No, it did not happen. How I remembered them as one big episode when it was actually 2 episodes, I don't know. But yeah, your memory can play havoc on you if you let it. The Harlem Globetrotters were on here a lot. The cast of Josie and the Pussycats. The cast of Jeannie, not Barbara Eaton Jeannie, the cartoon spinoff of Jeannie. Tim Conway, Don Adams, the cast of Speed Buggy, Cassie Elliott, and then Dick Van Dyke was the last episode. Yeah, this show, and it seemed like another thing would happen would be like they would cast celebrities that had already passed like years before the cartoon aired. It seemed like the Three Stooges were like gone to slapstick heaven, but they were actually alive at that point. But it seemed like they had that thing about them. It was a weird thing, and it was like an hour. That's one that a lot of people don't remember. Critics hated it. I thought, it's okay. It's okay. It's not anything, not gonna win an Emmy or anything like that. I'm trying to think of some more, but guys, I'm running out of steam here. So instead of dragging it on, I'm going to end it by saying, join me at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight for the Justice is Here podcast. Make sure you tell 5 friends about it. This show will be back next week. I'm picking right back up where I left off, and it'll be back next week. And remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Specifically, share. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Remember to subscribe, comment, like, share. Remember to do those things. I would greatly appreciate it. Consider supporting me on Patreon. I desperately am in need of some new equipment. I would appreciate any contributions. You can always hit me up on Cash App. Also, if you don't want to be a monthly member and just want to give a one-time contribution, would also appreciate that. Again, join me tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will do the outro. I will see you all at 7. Have a fantastic day and see you soon.